We're going to talk about what we need to do now so that everything is wonderful for our plants next go around.
Yeah.
Right?
It's again, like you're doing all that work before. You want to make sure everything wakes up in the spring, right?
Okay, right.
So right now, if you see your plants looking crazy leggy like this,
Yeah, they've been growing wild all summer.
it's spending so much energy to keep all those long branches alive, and you know they're about done. So you just come in. You could be more careful, but
chop them all down.
you cut them like this, and you can see at this point, if you do that in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it's going to look like this.
Oh, so you'll still enjoy something here.
Yeah, there's the basil growths coming in.
Okay, so that's the whole point. Cut it down so it's kind of, they're sleeping in the summer months.
You're giving it like a nice warm winter
Or the winter
hat.
months, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Give
right?
them a hat.
You're
Think of
giving
it
them
like
a
that.
hat. Yeah.
Okay.
Because mulch blows away.
And what are, and we're talking, what's this?
Well, those are just some annuals I brought for fun
good.
color.
Oh, okay.
But annuals, just enjoy them right now. It's time to just like love your annuals
and take pictures with them, treasure that, hang on to these moments, right?
Because we have a couple more months, we'll hopefully get that big long fall we normally do. But the other thing to keep
We're
in
talking
mind.
about, are you ready to jump into this? The
I'm
difference
ready.
between compost, fertilizer, and what's the last thing?
Root stimulator.
I've never heard of root stimulator.
A lot of
I'm just
people
going to
have
tell
it.
you, I've got roots up here sometimes, so I don't know about root stimulator.
This, I would say root stimulator is the equivalent of like hormone replacement therapy. So it actually signals to the plant to create thicker roots. And it also changes their, it's called oxum. It's a special hormone. And so what it does is it makes those roots much more readily available to take up the nutrients. So that's fertilizer.
And so would you do that now, root
Yes.
stimulator? And it
Especially
just comes in a little pack?
Well, I brought this little guy, and Super Thrive's been around since 1940, and I love it. But there are other companies that create root
And you
stimulators.
just put it-
You just follow the instructions.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
follow
right.
the instructions. It's like you put it in water or you can sprinkle it. It just depends on how much you're using. Also, compost. Compost is a really good thing to do this time of year. So compost is sort of like probiotics for your body.
Okay.
It's really hard to absorb nutrients if you don't have the microorganisms, you don't have the fungus, you don't have the bacteria.
Sure.
And so compost is giving all those things to the soil so that when you give it the green juice, which is straight up fertilizer, it's able to uptake those nutrients. Otherwise, it just sort of sits in your soil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So don't get any products that have fertilizer in it right now. Get instead compost or root stimulator, because you don't want to give too much growth to the top, just a little bit, because right now everything's producing roots.
Oh, okay. So even for your grass then?
Yeah. Don't
even
fertilize
throw
anymore.
the fertilizer on right now?
Nope. We did our last fertilizer in the last probably a week ago, 2 weeks ago. At this point, you want root growth. So you do a compost or a compost tea, and then you can also add a root stimulator to that. It's going to send all those roots nice and deep so that when it gets those crazy fluctuations in Colorado, like it's 75 and now it's like minus 11.
That your roots are...
That's what is alive in the wintertime. This part is not.
This makes me think of what people put on when they're losing their hair. So it's all good. It makes sense,
Exactly.
right? Okay, so remember that. Your root stimulator. You got me thinking of stimulating thoughts. Thank you, Sarah,
You're
as
welcome,
always.
Kim.
We'll be right back.
Bye.